help if I actually had my microphone connected. Obligatory greetings, compatriots. This is the 5th time I've tried recording this. I recorded it once, I looked back at the footage, and then I realized that the gameplay that I had recorded was so laggy, it was not even funny, and then I realized what I did wrong, and now it should be fixed, and now you should actually be able to see what I am trying to show you. I'm tired, I have to work early tomorrow. Anyway, enough about me. Thankfully, I've already got the game loaded in the background, so there's no waiting around for that. Today, this is what we're talking about. Just like 2 weeks ago. Apologies for no video last week. It's been up and down. It's always up and down. It's always flipping up and down. But I may as well flick over to the business end. Here we are again. We're looking at the Shephard source. So nothing much has changed about the menu. I do have a background map in the works, but at the moment it's still not there yet. I actually have to make it for a start, but I more or less have all the assets I need for the background map. One thing that has changed, if I go to new game, see chapter 1 actually has a proper name now. Vacation's over. Because, well, the actual, if I have a script in the works at the moment, and I might post it somewhere so that people can look at the progress of the story and the script and all that. And I can actually hit start new game. Ah, okay, that's loud. Or at least it's loud in my ears. When I recorded it last, it wasn't as loud as I thought it was, but it's very loud in my ears. So this map is called C1_A1, so it's the first map of the first chapter. And this is where the game starts. Interestingly enough, this model is extracted from Half-Life Opposing Force and pretty much just converted to work in Hammer. And as you can see, I've actually done a pretty alright job to get it in. Except for the fact that the rotors don't spin. I was able to add the sound file and everything's fantastic. So basically, I'll be sitting here, Mr. G-Man will come in and he'll start doing his little rant as normal. And that's basically the start of the game. Of course, I do need to fix the big black square in the ground. Okay, now this is another map that I've been working on. It's still early stages at this point, there's not a lot new to see. But, a bonus is that there is a pistol on this map, so I can show you one of the things that I have been struggling with to get working. This little building here is actually based on a house I used to live in about almost 3 years ago. So it'll be a nice little set piece for the game. Something a little personal to add into it. One thing I want to do is actually make these windows openable, but at this point, that's not happening. So if I just jump over here, I have a cold at the moment, so that's why my voice is not as I was going to say not as nice to listen to, but I don't think nice is the right word. So you probably already see the world model is different. And if I turn on the flashlight, you can see there is actually a normal map applied. If I pick it up, I have it in my hand. This is a Glock 17, and that is reflected up here in the top in the selection menu. And a semi-automatic handgun. The sound file has been swapped over for the firing sound, just to add it a little bit more personal. I have to fix the iron sights. There should be some little glowy dots on them, but not just yet. So if I just go into my old house, funnily enough, when I first made these doors, they all had the same name in Hammer, so when you open one of them, all the other ones would open too. But as you can see, I fixed that. Nothing in here yet. It's supposed to be a lounge in here, but I haven't got that far. I go into my room. These windows are actually breakable. And they're the really cool kind of breakable ones that you find in CS_office. Ah, I love these windows. They're specifically made so that you can't jump through them, because they'll just be too easy. So I think this house would be good as a holdout point, because you can't just jump out the window and find cover out there. You have to take cover in the house. Or perhaps I'll have it that there are combine in the house and you can't just jump in through the window, you have to work your way around to the door and go in that way. But yeah, so I actually managed to swap the model from the pistol over to the Glock. So it was as simple as extracting the view model for the pistol, both the view model and the world model, swapping over the pistol with the Glock and making sure that it matched up with the bones and the skeleton and everything, and then just recompiling it and shoving it back into the files. And, well, it worked. Except that the text just glitched out for a start and I had to rework the UV map. And secondly, the firing animations. So, one shot, that's one animation, and that animation is called fire. But 2 shots, the second shot is a separate animation, and the second animation is called Fire 1. There's also Fire 2 and Fire 3. That's to give variety when you're just firing off tons of shots. And the result is that you have a bit of variation when you empty off your whole magazine, which you may have noticed has been dropped down to 10 rounds. Long story. More on that later. So, those extra animations, for some reason, they were twisted around like 90 degrees anti-clockwise. So I had to go in and open up every single animation and twist it around the right way. And the way I did it, I didn't think it was going to work. But thankfully, it did. So, that's pretty much all I have to show you of the Glock. So I'm just going to open up one of my other maps. Map. Now, I still have all the old test maps, like test 2, test 3. Like, if I bring up test 3, don't know why the lighting's bugged on it. It shouldn't be this. It shouldn't be bright in here, but for some reason it is. This is all normal. See, Colby's still here. So I'm just going to open up test 4. Test 4 should have HDR and everything on it, but for some reason it's not working the way I want it to. Test 4, there we go. Combine! See, I have... Shut up! This is Trongus. 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 He's staying in the game forever. See, why is it so bright? I didn't do this. It didn't look like this in Hammer. When I launched the map from Hammer, it doesn't look like... Would you calm down? Just relax. Ow. He's cranky. It's all because of Trongus. You're causing issues, Trongus. Yeah, that's right, you run away. You sit in the... No, you need to go in the corner. Think about what you did, Trongus. So now we can ritualistically kill Colby as normally, but we don't have to use the MP7, we can use the Glock 17. Another note, this is something I hadn't done yet in the previous video. I edited the model, I basically fixed up the rail along the top, I adjusted the sight, and I also added a rail onto the side there, which you should be able to see. And I removed one of the barrels. I actually removed the wrong one, so there's two. There's one on the top and one on the bottom. You can see it in the selection thing. The top one is the one that I needed to remove, not the bottom one. So that means the bullets are just materializing out of a chunk in the front of the SMG. Also changed the SMG firing sound, just like the pistol. Has a different firing sound. Just to differentiate it a bit, make it feel a bit more original. Hopefully going to be changing the Combine soldiers quite a lot. Colby himself might even be recycled into Metro Cop, because I've got big plans for the Metro Police. I'm going to be changing their whole outfit to fit with the rest of the context, just like the Glock 17. This is just a placeholder texture. It's going to be a new one where it's all black. But that's kind of all I got for now. Just need to work out why this map is so bright. Might be a light underscore environment I've got sitting up here somewhere. I'll just have to check that. But yeah, that is all for now. So next week I may do another update on this, or I might, if I can stop stuttering for a minute, or I might actually have some gameplay from a different game. Although because nothing actually runs well on this crappy laptop, my hands are kind of tired. I really miss my PC. It was quite good. It wasn't like gaming tier PC, but it was better than this laptop. That's all I have for now. So I'll just do the usual. Oh, that's another thing. I'm going to be replacing all the HEV sounds, because another thing you probably saw. Okay, apparently not. I changed the texture for the HEV suit, and it's covered in camo. There is a good reason for that. See, the idea is, it's not an HEV suit, it's the PCV Mark II. Powered Recon and Battle Suite. Not suit, suite, so S-U-I-T-E. I know it's a confusing name to give it, but it's a working title. Basically, at the beginning, at some point, Shephard gets knocked out and wakes up amongst some resistance guys, and they're basically like, hey, we took the liberty of upgrading your PCV with some extra parts, and here's the result. And they give it back to you. It's got a voice and all this, and explains why it has definitions for all the weapons that now exist in the world, like the AR-2, and also the AR-3, which is something I'm hoping to be adding. Start off as a bit of a joke in, yeah, so you know what, I can tell you about that later. For now, this is all I have. Been playing around with some skyboxes, as you saw out there, and also in house test, and also in C1A1. But that's all I've got. So until next week, I shall bid you adieu.